My guest today on 12 Minutes With is the Director General of the European Space Agency, Dr. Joseph Aschbacher. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to start with talking to you about the eastern flank. Europe is being rattled by drone attacks. We've seen them in Finland and more recently in Romania. What role does the European Space Agency play in bolstering Europe's security?
Yeah, of course, what happens now on the security front is very concerning for everyone, every European citizen and even beyond. What do we do as European Space Agency? Of course, I have to distinguish the roles of us compared to the defense community. That means the military units in the different countries. We are not a military organization. We are a space agency. And as a space agency, we develop technology that can be utilized by other users, including the defense community. So our job and my job is to, first of all, define together or on the basis of requirements from the security defense communities or other users to define the space infrastructure that is needed in order to help them collecting information, communicating, navigating, and really being sure that they have the tools that space can provide for their defense purposes.
And now Europe has really ramped up defense spending. You have said yourself that Europe should also double its spending on space. But because Europe is now, on the one hand, being tightly squeezed with its budgets, and on the other hand, rapidly increasing this defense spending, how do you see that this is feasible? Do you say this is really necessary to invest in space?
I mean, this is really necessary. Just take the three arguments that are really supporting the investments in space. Number one, space technology is utilized every single day by you, by me, by all the citizens in Europe, from communication to weather forecasts to Earth observation, agriculture, forestry, health. Many domains are really using data from satellites or satellite technology every single day. Number two, space is an economic growth sector. We are having a space economy today of about 600 billion euros. It grows to a 1.8 trillion euros in the next decade. That means about 10% per year. We are increasing our space economy, or the world is increasing the space economy. And yes, of course, Europe wants to be part of it, and Europe wants to not only be part, but drive some of these sectors. And number three, yes, defense and security are driving factors today because space is essential for defense elements, for capacities, for all the domains on the air, on the ground, on the sea, and obviously in space itself. And there we have a relatively good situation at the moment in Europe. The budgets are very tight everywhere. We of course realize this, but space is so fundamental and is so important for daily life of every citizen, and therefore it's really well justified, because it's a bit like asking a question, do you need internet, yes or no? If you would switch off internet, yes, you can say it costs a lot of money having the computers, the networks and everything needed, but you couldn't do without internet.
Space war is no longer a fiction. Many say it's a reality now. The latest stories of, for example, Russian satellites behaving suspiciously around European satellites are an example of this. What are the facts here? What are the risks? And what should Europe be doing to prepare and mitigate these risks?
I mean, there are many things that need to be done. On one side, of course, space itself is probably in the future more under threat than today. But it's not only the space assets, that means the satellites in orbit. It's probably even more the ground assets, the ground stations, the operating stations, the stations that are communicating with the satellites and steering them and giving commands to the satellites. Cybersecurity is a big word in this context. So yes, we need to protect our overall system. And yes, this is something where I see increasing threats coming in the future in general, also in space, and that's something where we need to invest more to protect our infrastructure, our systems, in order to be sure to deliver all those data and information that you need in a daily life.
Yeah, so you say really spending is the response here. And
spending is the response, but spending it wisely. Just spending is, of course, not the right answer, but spending it in the right way. in a coordinated way, but also increasing the speed of how we build up our systems, because sometimes in Europe we are not as fast as we should be, and I think speed together with spending is really what needs to happen.
And now the recent decision by the European Commission to give European satellite operators priority in the low orbit market. Many see this as a part of a shift in space culture here. This is assumedly because SpaceX, for example, and Amazon are light years ahead, many argue. Will this decision actually help Europe to finally make a competitive commercial space sector happen, do you think?
Okay, you mentioned SpaceX and Amazon Leo, which of course are constellations that are being built up. I would not say that they are light years ahead. A light year is a very long distance and is a very big jump to make. But yes, we do have European systems in connectivity. I take OneWeb as an example, which is next to Starlink, the next, I would say, civilian or system that is being utilized by different users. So yes, we have something, but of course, yes, we need to build up and need to be much stronger. Square is the answer to that. But also at European level, at ESA level, we have initiated a program called European Resilience from Space, which is an integrated system, a system of systems that is having ISR, that means intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capabilities, together with connectivity, in order to provide information of any place in the world within a very short period of time at good resolution with different sensors. So yes, this build-up is necessary. We have the capacity, we have the industry, we have the excellence in terms of technologies that we need, but we need to invest, we need to do it, and we need to do it fast.
And on Amazon, we saw some pictures very early on Friday morning of a rocket operated by Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company that had exploded after takeoff. What was your reaction to these images?
When I see images like this, it's always, it makes me very sad because I know how much effort is behind in developing a rocket, in developing the engines, in testing them, in bringing them to orbit. This was only one of the very first flights, so therefore it's really in the ramp-up phase, and this is certainly something that concerns me. And I'm really saying this because we are living through a ramp-up of a new rocket ourselves. We have developed the Ariane 6 rocket. We have launched it in July 2024 for the first time, and fingers crossed, we have been very fortunate, but luck always is the result of many steps that you're putting in place yourself. We have been very fortunate that our Ariane 6 rocket is performing extremely well. The ramp up is very fast. It's the fastest today of any heavy lift rocket on the market or built over the last couple of years. So it's really something where you always realize how complex space technology is, and it is literally rocket science, and rocket science is not so simple. It's very complex, and succeeding in rocket science, that means in launches, is always a huge achievement. So yes, I feel very sorry for this incident that happened. It will be quite a big damage. You have seen the explosion. The launch base, I think, is pretty much destroyed, something that will take quite some time to rebuild, but also to investigate the reason why this explosion happened. And this, I know, is taking quite a bit of time. It's certainly a huge setback, not good for anyone in the space community.
And I want to pivot to the US now. We saw this recent announcement from NASA that they are hoping to put a US base on the moon. What does this mean for Europe?
We are part of it. We are having plans already since many years in the making of building up what we call the lunar economy or the lunar space economy. So that means infrastructure on the lunar surface. It may sound a bit science fiction to imagine that on the moon astronauts will be walking, will be driving with rovers, will be taking measurements. There will be other rovers extracting something from the soil on the lunar surface. There will be other factories producing bricks for making buildings and infrastructure. A launch pad may be constructed, ice may be converted to water and therefore oxygen and fuel at the end, but also really creating this infrastructure and this economy is quite a challenge. It will happen, but we are at the beginning of it. And ESA, yes, we are very much part of it. Of course, we discussed with NASA. We are in very close interactions. Just these days, I'm very intensely negotiating with NASA on the various elements that we can also provide in this larger context. But we have already started doing this since 2022, where we have funded very important projects. Argonaut, Moonlight are the keywords. Navigation, communication on the moon surface. Argonaut is transporting equipment from the Earth to the lunar surface. We have provided, as part of the Artemis program, the European Service Module, that is the module that powers, brings oxygen, water, and living conditions to the astronauts when they flew just a couple of weeks ago around the moon and back, and in the future onto the moon surface. The engine for this capsule, the Orion capsule, is coming from Europe, is provided by the European Space Agency. So yes, we are part of a very close and intense cooperation with NASA already.
And I want to ask you, we've also seen these declassified UFO files released by the Pentagon recently. Does the European Space Agency have similar footage? Can we expect the same here in Europe, or?
We do not have as much footage as just being released. We have, of course, some information that we get. Even I get letters and pictures and movies from citizens that they have seen and discovered something. We have an office within ESA that is looking into this. Sometimes it turns out to be some light effects, some planes or some satellites or something that has created a certain reflection, and therefore it looks a bit strange at first sight. But yes, we are also collecting information. But yes, NASA has a much larger database, and it's quite interesting to see some of this footing. And at first moment, of course, very surprising. And I think this is also quite interesting to really give it another dimension, which you wouldn't expect. And I think this is also part where people are very curious and want to see what could be possible.
And just finally, very briefly, when do you think we will see the next European astronaut on the moon?
On the moon, that is a big question. I wish I could answer the question.
Around the moon is also good.
Around the moon, I hope before the end of the decade. We will, of course, partner with NASA because they are our partner for astronaut flights and including to the lunar surface. But this is not yet agreed. I just want to be very clear. But we are discussing with NASA very intensely to make this possible for Europeans as fast as possible.
Dr. Aschbacher, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.